Pat Show is not affiliated with New England Patriots nor the NFL. It is what it is. Pat Show, Pat Show, Pat Show, Pat Show. You know what? Just cut the music. Stop. I can't even, I don't even want to pretend at this point,
I'm sorry.
Why is everyone,
Why? Sorry.
going on with the whole, hey, everything just keep calm and Brady on, like everyone is just, ignoring the death in the family. Whatever. Hey, fine. Hey, welcome, Pat's Peeps, Pigskin Pals, Football, Fanimals, Freaks, Geeks, whatever. It's Nick Stevens, your old pal Fitzy here, along with the minister of Pat's propaganda. Hey, knock it off!
Sorry.
That's Mike.
Sorry.
Sorry. Why don't we just...
We got to talk about it. We got to just jump right in.
Let's get right into the big loss over the weekend. The Patriots cut Coney Ely.
Damn it!
I don't even know, if you can't generate a pass rush, how are you going to put pressure on the quarterback and win football games? Belichick has obviously lost his marbles. The team has lost its way. I mean, you know what? Fine.
They blew 8 draft spots. They traded eight draft spots for him.
8 draft spots. And you know what the worst thing they did was? They teased me into thinking that I was getting the guy from Super Bowl 50 with the interception.
MVP.
The should have been MVP of Super Bowl 50. So I got my hopes up that we were going to have a dominant pass rusher, multiple sacks, and an awesome defense this year. Now, super adequate. Great. Welcome to a 13-win season, Pats.
All right. We jest. Let's get real.
Yeah.
It's about this guy right
now,
here.
listen, it's usually you hate us because you ain't us. And today it's more like we're glad we ain't you and we still extra super kind of hate you. But come on, just shower us with a little. No need to send like an edible arrangement. Oh, that was too close to Edelman. Even more. All right. No further ignoring the 400-pound disabled gorilla in the room. Obviously, we're all busted up, and maybe we're playing it up a little bit, but we're all super sad because of the season-ending injury in the third preseason game to the engine behind the Patriots offense. That's right, the 2017 Patriots, they're an Edelman down.
Wow.
It's terrible. I mean, just like the Welker one in Houston, just like Dion Lewis last year. We've seen these before. Non-contact injury. All of a sudden makes that cut, and then he just...
I want to throw... You know what? F you, whoever had to put the 8... Look at this. Who's the dick? Who's the dick who did that?
That was me.
Who put ACL on there? We know where it is. Why'd they have to...
It's graphics,
Yes, sir. Would you care for some extra Himalayan salt to put in your fresh wound with a side of water, lemon from Capri? F you. That's such a dick move.
It's terrible.
Sorry.
It sucks. It sucks from Scituate to Shanghai, from Hanover to Hanoi, from Boston to Beijing. I mean, it's the worst because, and again, no one is ever going to feel bad for a Pats fan for anything, and we're not looking to curry favor or sympathy with anyone, but you gotta, this is a great guy. This is someone everyone around the league loves.
I saw somebody write it the other day, and I was like, do I believe that? And I think I do.
If you saw it on the internet, it's true.
It is true. But he's the best receiver in Patriots history? Is that, can we say that? Can
we
say that?
Whoa.
Can we say that?
Ouch.
I think we might be able to say
I can't reach for that in the football.
Not to
That's
throw
a
it.
little hot.
I don't know, but...
Best receiver...
in Patriots
Wow,
history?
I wasn't even ready for that discussion, but at the same time, I would entertain it.
I know, right?
And he was the guy.
It's making it worse that we're talking about this now.
Oh God! Wow. I mean, it's like how many times in a row can I let you in your high heels just step on my football jump?
Sorry.
All right. Well, you guys know what happened in the third preseason game on a non-contact play. Julian Edelman was juking and jiving and Julian Edelmaning his way down the field when he went down, non-contact ACL. He's out for the season. We would show you the replay, but I don't want to watch dash cam footage of my own car accident again. But also, but also because NFL rights and clearances are so expensive, we actually can't afford the footage. So here to actually walk us through the injury, the way it went down on Friday night at Ford Field, to reenact and recap, a reencapment, if you will, of the Edelman injury and what we, as all rabid Patriots fans, went through. We welcome in our first official correspondent here. It's very exciting. Our first official correspondent to Pat's show. He is the ultimate. He's considered the spirit animal of many in the derangement of Patriots Nation. We welcome in our correspondent, Fitzy, everybody. Fitzy, take it away.
Thanks, dudes. Love the show. And by love the show, I mean I'm on it. So, it's a typical late summer Friday night. You know, pretend Patriots, pigskin preseason action, have the boys come over, grab a couple beers, just so you can, you know, get that little sneak peek of Tommy and the offense doing their thing, so as to maintain your Brady boner for the opener in a couple weeks, right? But at the same time, you understand it's a little bit of like a risky proposition, because why should the starters be out there in the first place? I mean, the season's coming up. We know what they can do, right? But anyway, they're there, and like a couple minutes in, the Pats offense is just bossing, right? It's like back during Tecmo Bowl, if you had a team that had like Bo Jackson and Walter Payton on it, right? They're just crushing. And you're thinking like, dude, if this is what it's going to be like this season, the way Brady is just carving them up like a super sharp Japanese knife through a perfectly cooked Thanksgiving turkey, then 19-0 may as well just book my rooms in Minneapolis. And then all of a sudden, down goes Edelman. Wait, no. Jules, why are you down, dude? No. No. This is terrible. It's a non-contact go down. Oh, no. It's on the carpet. Shades of Welker back in Houston. It's almost like Dion Lewis a couple of years ago. No one touched him. Oh, he's grabbing the back of his knee. And now he's grabbing the back of his knee, and I'm grabbing more beers. I'm just shame drinking. I'm in so much pain right now. I am in a cooler of sorrow and high alcohol content. Yeah. And then Edelman gets up. Oh no, he's hopping. Oh, and then he's limping. He's hop limping. That's the worst kind, people.
It's all true.
Oh no, and we didn't even need the medical reports and the MRI, GFY to come true, because we all knew it was another 3-letter thing. ACL. ACL, I am in hell. Oh, no, not the engine of the Patriots offense. Not Brady's bestie. Not the second handsomest guy on the team. Not the mayor at third downtown. He's so clutch. He's so handsome. Why? Why in a preseason game? A meaningless preseason game. Like there's any other friggin' kind of preseason game. I mean, preseason football is like, you know, low-fat ice cream trying to pass a bill through Congress and pockets on a toddler's outfit. Friggin' useless! Oh, I know the Pats are stacked at wide receiver, and things will probably work out in the end because A, they're the Patriots, B, there's depth, and C, A, and B, especially Brady and Belichick. But son of all the bitches, why did Edelman have to go down? I love him so much. That's a year less of Brady to Edelman we all get now. And sure, the Pats are guaranteed the AFC East because the rest of it is a medical waste fire dropped on top of a dumpster fire, but still, I'm going to miss Jules this year. I mean, I love watching the Pats, and sure, I have a Ron Burgundy-sized boner for the season, but at the same time, not having Edelman, screw it all. I may as well just live in North Korea. Back to you.
I mean,
There it is.
It's all true. I mean, everything he's saying.
Sums it up perfect. I mean, he captures the soul of the fan.
Really, he puts to words the emotions that we're all afraid to embrace because you know
we don't want to show that
we're
emotion.
We're from New England, and that's what we do here. We're just good at not acknowledging our feelings and blaming our problems on other people. Which is why I want Ford Field burned to the ground. I want that carpet rolled up and burned to the ground. I want the Ford family dead. I want the preseason dead. I want everyone that works at 345 Park Avenue dead. Overreact much?
No,
Sure.
No,
right?
It's the truth.
Well, it just all right. Let's get into the realistic ramifications and implications and implications and ramifications of what the Edelman injury means going forward for the 2017 Patriots. First of all, a couple quick things. One, enough we say it just because we can, because we're fans and we like to joke around about it. And sure, we'd all like it just the same we would all love pizza in bed with naked Scarlett Johansson, but I don't give a flying shit about 19-0. I don't want to hear it. I also don't want to hear from anybody about what happened to your effing fantasy team because Edelman went down. If one other person asks me with like, oh man, I got auto-drafted Edelman now, my team's really screwed. F you, nobody cares. I don't want to hear it. This is a guy.
This is not a fantasy.
Yeah, no, here's the reality. Nobody gives a shit about your fantasy team. Hi, kids that are here in the studio. We're grown-ups swearing about football. Listen, it's always bring your kid friendly day here at the Pat Show Studios in lovely Framingham. Look, okay, the thing that people forget about Edelman is in addition to being Brady's favorite target, in addition to being the third down look in the first down machine, is that from week 10 on last year, nobody had more receiving yards in the NFL. Now, granted, he played the most games because he went through the whole entirety of the preseason. So that means from weeks 10 through 6 through 17, and then the postseason, he was the leading receiver in the NFL. So this is not just when people like to sort of like marginalize the Patriots offense, like, oh, it's cis Tom Brady, and Edelman is just there for like the 3s and 5s and the first downs. This was basically, in essence, top 5, if not the best receiver in football.
That's what we said. Yeah, you can't downplay what Julian Edelman has meant to this team over the last few seasons. And I think shockingly, he's really only been that guy since 2013. And so we're going through another strange period now where in 2013 we lost Welker, that tight end guy, Aaron Hernandez.
The bad hobbies, yeah, right.
Some big turnover there, and the big bring in Danny Amendola, and it's like, how is Amendola going to replace Welker? And then who replaces Welker? But the guy who's been there, Julian Edelman, and on a one-year deal that year, nobody was like, we got to keep Edelman, and here we are, 4 years later.
He was playing in the league minimum that year, and Edelman and Amendola came in to replace Welker on the 5-year, $30 million deal, and then everyone was like, Amendola's totally the new Welker.
Yeah.
Same side. They went to the same freaking school. They were both undrafted. The prototype, the fit was there, and then out of the blue, Edelman, who's playing on a league minimum contract, who we had heard for years had the eye of McDaniels, and they loved because he had the right attitude. He was Brady-esque in his work ethic. He as is the title of his book that's now coming out. Junk Punch City, population, all of us that are going to buy and read it, relentless.
Yeah.
He popped a little bit in 2012, had a great Sunday night game when they lost on that awful call when Justin Tucker did miss that kick. Mm-hmm. He had a touchdown, but then he broke his hand, and couldn't quite come up to speed. And then over the past 4 years, has won the Hearts, has won big games.
Big catches.
Huge catches in both Super Bowls. He's indispensable. That's Brady's best buddy. He was in Montana this summer. He's Julian Edelman. He crushed it with that funny line at the ESPYs. He's kind of like a national star now, and he's got international appeal. He could go anywhere and do anything he wants. And where is he this summer? In Brady's replica football field, running routes with the GOAT in Montana to get ready for the season after the greatest Super Bowl win in history. These guys are amazing. And so to see this taken out from under him now, it hurts to me seeing Edelman have to go down for a whole year. I know it hurts Brady, so they're soul punched right now. But what do you think it's going to mean to the offense?
It's interesting, too, because you look at the past of all these things we used to talk about, and it's always, we need a deep threat. And now all of a sudden, we've got Brandon Cooks and Chris Hogan and Rob Gronkowski as the primary guys who are all people who can stretch the field. And now it's like, do we need a shallow threat? Is that what we need now? Or we need a shallow threat. But
we need a lateral threat.
I know it's changed, and interestingly enough, now the question is, can Danny Amendola replace Edelman? So you've got experience in Amendola. You would prefer to be able to protect him, but when you want to roll out those 3 receiver sets, and you have Malcolm Mitchell too, who we should talk about, who seems like more of an outside guy too. So it's like, who's going to run those slot routes? So I think the biggest thing for me that kind of stands out as a potential option, you look at James White, you look at Dion Lewis, put those guys out there at the same time, even Rex Burkhead as well, who can catch.
Right.
That way, you send those guys out, it's another mismatch problem. I think they kind of play with that a little bit. But, the question is, who's going to make those clutch catches in the big moments now that Julian Edelman is not there?
I had no idea, actually, that Burkhead had played some slot receiver before in his days, too, which it's not like they could have forecast or predicted what would have happened to Edelman, but there's always extra insurance built in. That's why they value the versatility. And seeing guys like that can provide some redundancy along in different parts, like Brandon Bolden, probably going to make the team, and we're going to get in later to the 53-man prediction that Mike just posted to Pat's Propaganda that I think is pretty accurate, but is still going to stoke the flames of fury with a lot of the Foxborough Fanimals. You see, Burkhead, he can run. He can split the tackles. He can go outside. He can go in the slot. So the Patriots might be using, this may force, strangely enough, a guy like Edelman who could show all sorts of versatility, running end arounds, taking direct snaps, throwing the football with accuracy, running intermediate and even long-range routes. This may force the Patriots on the whole and Josh McDaniels to be just a little more creative to make up, to just have like meat of 1,000 cows make up for the, burger time with Jules.
Yeah.
But the good thing is they've got the players in place to be able to sort of like, they've got like the fabric to be able to cover up the gaping hole in their pants now that comes with the Edelman tear.
Yeah, I mean, there's no comparison to 2013. People talk about, oh, well, here are what happened to Brady's targets on third down since 2013, and
Boyce, Dobkins, and Tompkins.
You had nothing. You had nothing. You had nothing in the backfield. You had nothing at all, and now you have as much as you could ever hope to have to overcome this kind of a loss of Edelman. So it's going to take some tinkering, but they're the team to tinker. They've got time now. They got a couple of weeks before the bullets are real, as they say, that they can figure out a plan. Sorry.
I feel triggered. That's even worse. I'm so sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. So there's a lot that's going to go into as we continue to discuss the evolution of the offense and helping never replace, but sort of like adjust for and align to the loss of Edelman. But we also just want to pay, as we did with our somber intro and everything, you know how much it hurts for us to not be able to root for Brady's bestie. The Patriots are now 50% less handsome on the sideline. He means so much to the team on and off the field. And in the true Belichickian sense, we're probably not going to see him that much. I hope to Hades and Hanover and Haverhill that they allow him to at least be there for the intro game if he's got to be on the sideline in crutches, because that's just going to pump that crowd up that much more. And now 2017 becomes like, we were going to just try to win it again. It was blitz for 6. Now win it for Jules. Run the Jules, man. Do it for Jules.
Run the Jules right here.
Obviously, Edelman made a great impact, not just in the team and in the community, but league-wide, too. Let's take a quick look at the outpouring of love that Edelman got through social media on Instagram and Twitter. There's the Seabass.
Yeah. Volmer.
Yep. Volmer sending some love.
Ring shout out. Look how big.
That's right. All right. You had a surgical procedure to have your emotions removed from your body. If you see this picture of the two of them leaning against each other in hugging Super Bowl 51 man tears, and if that didn't just tug at if that wasn't borderline the end of Titanic minus Jack and Rose, insert Brady and Edelman for you, then I feel badly that you have no feelings left in your body. Oh, that killed me.
That's kind of a great comment. Whispers, we should have done single leg squats.
Good for you, SP Strength Coach on IG, new follow. Nice. Of course, then the McCourty twins. Yeah, every picture of him. Why every picture I look at Edelman now, it's like a Sarah McLachlan song plays in my head. This is killing me. I already hate this episode so much. I want to love these Patriots, but it's hurting so much. Why do we love them, man? You know what's so twisted? We're both like more than a decade older than Edelman. We'll probably never meet him, and he makes so much more money than he does. But yet here the two, we're wearing shirts that we're lamenting his season-long loss. Like
he should come on Pat's show, I think. I think that's what he should do now with his free time.
You know what? Screw you, production crew. Don't be like he's got the time. Yeah, once he got better to do.
Rehab, surgery.
He's going to be another coach.
Chris Carter.
I thought this was a solid tweet from Chris Carter. Julian Edelman, one of my favorite wide receivers, made himself into an elite player. Yes, he did. And his intensity is contagious. Preseason NFL sucks. If only Chris Carter had advised him on
finding a fall
guy for his knee, so someone else could have taken the fall for the ACL. Burn. We also got Chris Long. I hope Jules is okay. I loved Chris Long on the Pats last year. Yeah. He loved being on the Pats. Yeah. It was time for him to move on too. But that right there is the quintessence of once a Patriot, always a Patriot.
Yeah.
And that shows you what kind of impact he made.
It's a great emoji, too. I mean, he just,
What, the nurse? Is that
like,
what is that? Is that the concerned doctor or nurse emoji with a scrub on his head?
Yeah.
I think he got a little love from someone who lined up opposite him, and they've had some great battles.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman, hate to see that happen, praying for a fast recovery for Edelman. Hard worker and great competitor. Now, see, there it is right there. That's like last year when safety for Earl Thomas, who hit Gronk and hurt him with that wicked blow to the sternum, said, like, don't want to see Gronk hurt, real recognize real.
Competitors respect.
Right.
No, you sad bro or anything like that from Sherm Dog.
And anything else along that way? Yes, of course. Then everyone on social media.
Can I donate my ACL? How to go back in time?
Good
Why
one.
does the NFL preseason exist?
Nice job, Ben Fawcett. Good one right there by you, buddy. And, of course, I think this last one actually is not about Edelman, but no matter how bad it gets for the Patriots or how much it hurts to lose Edelman, at least we can all recognize that we're not the Jets, because Christian Hackenberg in the Jets preseason battle against the Giants the other night, Manish Mehta of the New York Daily News tweets, Christian Hackenberg's night is over, and probably career. 8 drives, 8 for 15, 60 yards, 2 pick sixes, 4 yards per attempt, 23.6 passer rating.
Wow.
We're not the Jets.
No, that right there, though, that is Patriots fan Schadenfreude 101. Like, this hurts so much. At least we're not the Jets. At least we're not the Jets. I never said we're good people. We're great fans. I just didn't say we're good people. All right, so this happened, Mike. So that was the third preseason game, the dress-up game. And hot take city population me, I'm going to pretty much predict that going down the road in the Giants game, and maybe in the future of Foxborough pretend preseason games, I don't think you're going to see the stars out there much, if at all, anymore. But
yeah, you might have to have some, just because it seems like they're starting to already cut guys, which is kind of curious. But
what did you see in? I mean, I mentally I could barely watch after the whole Jules thing.
Yeah,
what did you see that you liked, and what did you not like in Pat's Lions?
Well, I mean, take out Edelman being hurt, and this is easily, everybody will be flying high after this game. I mean, the offense came out, did what they want, where they put up, 20-plus points in the first quarter. The defense didn't give up a first down, forced 2 takeaways.
Right.
I mean, everything looked really good outside of Edelman. So, as we slowly start to try to get over the Edelman of it all.
There's Tommy just looking, he looks
just
so
lighting it up.
freaking good.
Yeah, and they can do what they want. And, and Gronk, I continue to be impressed by Gronk and just how lean he looks and limber, and I don't know.
Did you see that block he threw where like a guy was rushing in with cannon and he just just the shove.
Yeah.
You forget, like, people forget what a good blocker Gronk is.
Yeah.
He's kind of their third best offensive lineman, even though he's the best tight end in the NFL and maybe history.
Why he's so
Dude
good.
is a crazy.
He can do it all.
If his back is right and he's limber and strong that way, like
it seems like it.
I watched some NFL film study guys going over some elements from the first quarter. Brian Baldinger, who does some great
the pinky.
Does some great breakdowns on Twitter. If you guys are looking for someone who can, geek out over the Patriots porn, and he was talking about Gronk's block, but then Brady to Hogan, he was just talking about how, like, some of those passes were insane.
Yeah.
Obviously that looked great. What did you not like that you saw in Pat's Lions?
The depth. The second half defense was atrocious.
Oh.
And so there weren't a lot of guys that are probably going to end up playing significant roles for the defense this year playing in that second half.
Right.
A couple up front, but the coverage was gross. The tackling was gross. So that's...
You just jumped from bad to gross.
Sorry,
You just
bad to gross.
flew straight over bad and
See, those are
landed
the
in
things you
gross.
don't want to see. That's what third preseason game, especially these guys, it's like it's a fundamental thing of tackling, And so if you're a cornerback and you're just not tackling at this point, you're going to have a hard time getting on the field, or at least demonstrating, hey, coach, I can be that fourth, fifth corner kind of a guy. So those are some areas of concern. But again, let's just focus on the non-Edelman first half on both sides of the ball. And obviously, we'll also just cancel out that Steven Gostkowski extra point miss that he threw in there. He did hit the game winner. We'll try to make that what we remember. But there he is. And,
last four, like Super Bowl, doinked one off the uprights.
Yeah, 2015 in the playoffs, missed one that cost them overtime.
Oh my God! You just reminded me.
Yeah.
The AFC Championship in Denver. The reason why they had to go for 2 is because
in each of the last final games last years. Look, you're not going to pull in anybody off the street if anybody's watching Hard Knocks.
You look
at how bad the Buccaneers are with their kicker situation, where they're missing them constantly.
Right.
So you're not going to bring anybody in to compete with Gostkowski, but he just keeps you honest with those occasional misses, and it's like not in a key moment.
Right.
Please.
First, seriously though, first person that comes to me and says, like, Gostkowski's the new Aguayo, you're going to get an extended paperclip right down the one hole, and you know which one I'm talking about too. But it'd be great if he stopped missing as many XPs as he did.
Yes.
The second stringers were second stinkers, big time. And those are the guys you hope you never actually have to get to.
Yeah.
obviously. And the second string offense and the third stringers for the other team, they're all hustling and humping, trying to make plays. So they're going to bring that extra energy.
Yeah.
So these guys have to remember, they have to bring the extra energy to meet other teams' second and third stringers and make that impression. You can't just say like, man, Alan Branch is so good. Brady's so good. I'm never going to make this team. It's that extra little something. You got to be maybe like the new Harvey Lange. You got to be the next. These guys, Adam Butler, for all we know.
Let's talk about Adam Butler.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
He may have beat Coney Ely. He may have just Ely didn't fit.
He did. I mean,
and he went to the Jets, and man, talk about going from the poorhouse to the penthouse in one day.
Yeah.
But woo!
You look at Butler. I mean, just had so fast off the ball. Had some great just pursuits, splitting the offensive lineman.
Yep.
I think he's got to be a lock for the team. You saw how they kind of used him and Lange. It is Lange, so it's spelled
Lange.
with an O, but you spell it with, or is it no?
No,
I still got it wrong.
L-A-N-G-I.
And then it's Longy.
It's Longy.
You say it Longy, but it's spelled Lange.
It's spelled Langy? Wow.
I know. We're gonna get it right here on Pat's show. I promise.
Nah. Why would we get anything right, please?
But they used him and Butler as pass rushers.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to need. They're going to need those guys. I wrote an article on Pass Propaganda this week. Go check it out. But that's, I think, a big question for this team. They've lost a lot of those clutch guys this year. Edelman, Ninkovich, two of the players over the last few years who have made big play after big play in big moments in the playoffs.
Oh, good. There it is again.
Oh,
All right.
thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why that one?
my knee!
I was fine with that one, too.
But
That's the face we all... Good, let's go back to that one again.
Yeah.
I swear, did I do something to somebody here? Did I don't...
bad. Oh, there he goes. The old cart ride.
Just cue the sad Hulk walking away music from the TV show.
I'll say this, though. Why don't we have a question, actually, for anybody watching live in the comments. We'd love to hear. We're having a discussion pre-show. When was the last time the Patriots lost a significant player in the preseason? We were racking our brain trying to think of who it was.
Right, Welker happened in the last game.
Welker
Brady in
happened in the last game of the
2008
season.
against the Chiefs in an opener.
Who in the preseason? I mean, I'm struggling,
really
and I do follow
Gronk
the
never went down
Patriots.
to preseason? Yeah. I think we've watched a
We're
couple
fans
games
of
in the last
of
20
the team,
years.
but I don't know. Comment. I don't know. Is
Right.
there a hashtag?
You can hit us up at any point during the show. If you're watching via Facebook, you can hit us up with a question. We'll actually take questions live during the course of the show. You can always hit us up after the show at PatShow6. Mike is at Pat's Propaganda, and I'm on at FitzyGFY. All right, so we talked about the Edelman injury. We're going to get into later how they may figure out a way to recover, sort of replace, and how that's going to affect the 53-man roster. But obviously the best thing to come out of the Patriots-Lions preseason game was how sharp the offense looked in the first quarter, especially those first couple drives, and the beauty and the straight fire and the sexiness that is the Brady to Hogan connection. And Mike is going to demonstrate just how Brady dropped that beautiful 32-yard touchdown dime to Hogan in one of our favorite segments, the Electro Breakdown Zone. Break it down.
We're going to break it down.
Top level technology here, folks.
I know, we do have a little bit of an issue this week in that somehow we didn't get the Lions guys. That was my mistake. So we're going to use the Texans here again.
This
They're
show
blue.
sucks. Unfollow.
Yeah, sorry. It ruined our high-tech segment that we have here. But what we're going to look at, this is post Julian Edelman injury.
Right.
So maybe this is a little sample of kind of what we're going to get here. We've got four wide. They're kind of in a bunch set here. Everybody's kind of tight. What you'll notice, though, is that I'm going to call them the Texans. The Lions were in man coverage.
Okay.
They got only a single deep safety. So if you watch Pat's show, you're a very informed Patriots fan. Last week we said
in general,
teams
you're
can't
a very
play
Patriots fan, yeah.
cover one against this team because this is exactly what happens. And I think I'm going to do something a little different this week. I might move some guys pre-snap. We'll put them back afterwards. But just to show, here we got Chris Hogan.
You want to do some PSA pre-snap
running
adjustments?
deep. Yeah, you got to stay up, Hogan. Stay on your
So
feet.
Hogan's basically running, so they're at the 32.
Yep.
And Hogan's basically, is it like a stop and go? Was there
Just
any
a
juke and
straight
jive, or was
kind,
it a
just
straight
a
go
straight
route?
kind of go.
Okay.
And really, what Brady's going to watch is he's going to watch the center safety because you also have Brandon Cooks. Now, the big thing about this play that's so exciting is that Brandon Cooks was wide open. Brandon Cooks is the guy that, we haven't really seen anything too crazy from in any of these games, and I think they're kind of hiding it a little bit. Brady probably should not have
but
even
why show
thrown.
your Cooks cards this
No,
early in
don't
the
show it.
preseason,
No,
too,
no,
especially?
no.
And I saw that same picture you did on Twitter from the all-22 look. When Brady releases the pass that eventually is going to come out
It looked
Hogan's
like this.
direction,
It literally looked
he
like
literally had about 5 yards on his guy. And I think it's great that he's only throwing short passes to Cooks right now, just to make people think like, come on, I've seen Cooks play before.
Yeah.
They're going to start looking deep for him, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's like Moss in 2007 where he didn't play the preseason and all of a sudden it's bombs away once we get into the regular season.
And also, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention, too, back when you were saying, like, we need a we're going to need a horizontal threat. We're going to need a third down threat. Last year, people always talk about the Pats needing a deep threat. Last year, Chris Hogan was the most effective deep threat in the NFL. I think he averaged over 17 yards a catch.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe it.
Sure.
Again, we don't have our stats girl here.
Actually, almost 20 yards. Diane, can you get on that, please? Thank you. All right. Diane, you sound an awful lot like Ian. You might want to get that looked at. Thanks.
But you also have Gronk who's going to go up the middle. So really, this safety's got to make a decision. And Brady, I think Brady could probably draw some criticism. I mean, great throw and everything. But the safety had his hips turned towards Hogan. That's why it's almost a play. Hogan makes a great catch. It's a great throw by Brady. But it just, again, last week we illustrated the Burkhead touchdown, which same thing. It cleared out. They threw it to Burkhead, and he made his way into the end zone. This time they went the other way. They threw it deep. They went right at Hogan. And that's just the kind of stuff you're going to see. It's going to be opened up now in the middle, and you wonder how they're going to start to. I mean, any team that looks at this play, they're going to say, "Oh God."
So you think even though you lose Edelman, who does this and does that and goes over here and bails Brady out and bails the offense out of so many different problem situations, trouble spots, you think they'll still be okay?
It's easier now because you have legitimately players that are going to make safeties think twice about. The old thing on the Patriots were crowd the box, play man. Force them to beat you deep. This team will gladly take you trying to force them to beat you.
All right, as only we can here on
here we go.
Pat's show, let's take it to the electro breakdown zone and show you how this play worked out.
Here we go. Brady back. Brady back to pass. Brady!
Actually, no, Hogan went down. No, Hogan's ACL went out too. No, Chris, please no. I can't see another Patriots receiver go down.
Well,
and look, the safety had it played perfectly. He ended up in the right spot.
That was a mess. But
Brady is obviously completely broken up about the Edelman play.
I think if we're just going to finish it off on last night, we're just going to come right in here and here comes Drogon.
Yeah, Dracarys.
Terrible.
Actually, it was more like after Edelman went down, it was like, open up my soul, Dracarys. By the way, not for nothing, but Dracarys would be the name of an awesome cologne if the Game of Thrones people. Would you not wear Dracarys?
Oh, Dracarys for
Man, you smell like straight fire. Yeah, right. He's wearing Dracarys. It would come in a little dragon bottle, and you'd be like...
Dracarys Noir.
Wow, our first group buddy funny here on Pat's show. And that right there was the 32-yard Hogan touchdown on the electro breakdown zone.
And we're standing here, so I think it's about that time mid-show.
Oh, should we shake it out?
That time when we just shake it out a little bit.
Time for a little.
We always try to find some.
All right, well, we ready some questions and see what everyone's saying on the Facebook. Let's make sure, as we full well understand here in America, fitness is important for all the kids out there. You want them to follow positive examples. Get up and move. So who better to get you up and get you moving than the GOAT, TFB himself, Tom Brady. Here's our little mid-show Brady break it down.
This is the ring dance.
What do we got this week?
It's the ring dance.
Oh yeah, there we go. Start feeling good. The 5 ring. What is he doing? That's 5 different. He was reaching for his pockets. I thought he was going to start doing a little like a little hoedown there.
That's a rhythm though. He's getting.
No, he doesn't. He absolutely not.
I tried.
If Brady,
it's like a little if you just stand there.
I mean, I can do that. I'm the worst dancer ever. I'm literally the worst dancer ever. But even I can do that.
The likes must be flying on Facebook Live right now with all this dancing.
I know. If Brady had all of his rhythm and soul surgically removed and had it replaced with clutch, that's totally fine by me. I would gladly submit myself for that procedure as well. Any questions or anything we want to take from the audience right now? They're firing those right up? Okay. All right, as we get ready now, we'll be making our way to the second half of the show as we fly in the questions. And please, like we said before, hit us up with live questions during the broadcast, and you can always hit us up afterwards, and we'll try to answer those questions. We're pretty good at responding via the email and the tweet box as well. And if you've got questions you want us to address on future shows, please do so as well. All right, what's up, guys? Jenna Crowell, ugh, thanks so much. Great to know that. Great. What are you? Sorry about that. Oh, win it for Jules. She's unhappy about the fact that we started off talking about that. Deshaun Martin got cut by the Lions. Any chance we pick him up?
I don't know. I think they're fine with what they got. Let them roll. See what Mitchell can do. I mean, you've got all those running backs. There's no need to really. I don't know. And I'd probably say the same thing about Austin Carr, preview of the 53 man. But we'll talk about that later.
I mean, Keyshawn Martin coming back in. He knows the system. He was here during 2015. But if he comes back in, if I see Keyshawn Martin, he's going to start reminding me of 2015 offensive inadequacy.
Exactly. What's he gonna do?
No,
So
no, I don't want to remind myself of that at all. Rich Rodriguez asks, I'd like to know, now that Jules is out, who does Nick think is now the second most attractive Patriot?
Amendola.
Okay. Amendola.
Yeah, Amendola. I think it's
Amendola.
The battle for three is probably where
like
it's
my
at.
buddy, thank you very much, Ian. Like my buddy Georgie asks, who do you think is the better looking model, Giselle or Dola? Right?
Well, who's third? I think the real question, who's
third?
Who's third?
Right. Because Dola is the clear-cut second. He and Edelman were always fighting it out for second.
You can comment, on Facebook.
Who do you guys
think? Third best? I mean, we got Brady top, Amendola. I mean, I'm racking my brain here.
Hogan's a pretty good-looking guy, but he's also got. There's just that extra little bit of like.
Yeah, a little too wide-eyed. Yeah, he doesn't have that sexiness that Edelman, the trio of Edelman, Brady, and Amendola had. And then the offensive linemen, they're just too big. Those guys.
Big and awkward.
I don't know. Is Stephon Gilmore? Is that he's got the long hair and stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should spend a little less time discussing the attractiveness of the Patriots. We'll have to get back to you on that one, but Dola is definitely the second most. I know these are the important things. That's what you come to Pat Show for. I full well understand. All right.
Gostowski.
Yeah, the Goss is a good-looking guy. He's definitely. We share a little similarity with the long in the chin and the frequent stubble. Either of us could step in as Phil on Modern Family, so I always got that going for me. I wish I had their paycheck and residuals, but. All right, so. As we move to our next segment, of course, now the media, now everyone's freaking out about who's going to replace Edelman. I've already read, I can't believe this, I've read on a multitude of New England sports websites, is this enough to derail the Patriots season? What? Is this going to, I kid you not. Of course, because Patriots, because 2017, because social media and internet. Is this going to throw the Patriots offense off? Is this going to be what takes the Patriots down? No. I'll tell you, that's not going to be the problem, but this is the matter that we need to address now here on the Hot Takedown.
Hot
Takedown!
Take it down!
All right, so, the replacement of Edelman now that he's injured has come up, and everybody has their own ideas for who they think is going to be the guy that joins the roster. I don't think there's a free agent out there that's going to replace him, but everyone thought this summer when they signed undrafted free agent Austin Carr that he would be the guy. And now, of course, everyone on Friday night and Saturday was like, oh, well, obviously Austin Carr is the new Edelman. Well, don't get your hopes up, everybody, because Andy Hart, who works for Patriots Football Weekly and does radio shows for the Pats, said, based on what I'm hearing, reading from fans, a lot of people are going to be upset if and when Austin Carr doesn't make the Patriots roster.
The Carmy.
So the Carr, what's that?
I call him the Carmy. The militant Carmy. They came after me last night.
The Carmy?
Yeah.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. So you said you didn't think Carr was going to make it and people were coming after you online?
This is true.
Wow. Really?
The militant Carmy.
The Carmy.
Yeah.
The Carmageddon is upon us.
They like those little receivers, I don't know. We'll see. He had that touchdown catch in week 1.
He is a fast car. I'm never going to sing Tracy Chapman again on this. I promise. I'm so sorry. But yes, but the thing is, like, shifty in the slot, great moves, has impressed people all throughout. Here's why I think the Patriots would be at risk not signing Austin Carr and having him make the 53. Because if they don't keep Carr, and yes, he does provide a little Edelsurance, if you will, and maybe will grow to gain Brady's trust over the season. But as we saw years ago, also just bringing a bunch of rookie wide receivers, shades of 2013, which is my least favorite Irish bar to go to. With the Boyce and the Dobson and the Tompkins trio.
Tompkins Saints catch, we give him a little bit of...
Makes me yearn for when they had only Chandler LaFell and Keyshawn Martin to throw to in 2015.
Yeah.
If you don't sign Carr, knowing why the Patriots brought him in as sort of like a harvestable Edelman clone, what he can do, and how competitive people are with the Patriots, if the Patriots let him go and try to sign him to the taxi squad, I'm thinking that somebody, likely a Patriots competitor, the receiver-starved Jets, the receiver-hungry Buffalo Bills, maybe one of those teams is like, F it, we're not going to let Austin Carr go back to the Patriots because they want to develop their next Edelman, and they'll snag him, and then the Pats are screwed, and then they don't have their guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, how much do teams still think if they sprinkle a little Patriots dust on them, May, June, July, August, that 4 months of Patriots dust, does that really make him good? Because every year the Patriots sign this undrafted free agent.
Right.
Like, they always go after the little guy that nobody wanted to spend a draft pick on, and everyone looks at him and says, oh, he's the next Edelman, and
Because there's a little Patriot, like you said, Patriots dust. They inject him a little Patriot serum.
And of course, I'll be psyched if they signed Austin. I mean, if Austin Carr makes the 53, I'll be happy. I just don't think that they see him as a player who's going to step in this year and play snaps for them. I think if they expected that, they would have played him with Brady. They would have played him with the offense a little more. I mean, we haven't really seen much of him since that first week where he made a great catch in week 1 when all the scrubs were kind of playing.
He did look great with Jimmy, though.
But he's also, one more point, he's also not the 5'10" shifty guy. He's not quite that guy. I mean, people want him to be, but I think he's 6 feet 6'1". He's a little bigger. I mean, he's a little bit of a different player. I'd love to keep him. I think they're going to try to get him onto the practice squad, but.
I think he's definitely practice squad material.
But if they lose him, is he going to go off and be Julian Edelman for the Bills? I don't think so.
I'm not concerned about what he's going to do for those other teams. It just seems like a great insurance policy to have as we move along.
Do you want to fight
Eddie
about
Monroe, Andy Hart will be wrong again. True fans of the New England Patriots. Edelman's replacement can be John Logan, the Pats magician.
Oh, what?
What? Who the hell is
Wow, some doesn't like that.
we have a Patriots magician? That's amazing. All right, next man up. That's right. No worries. Every time. Yep, I know. Every time I see I also feel like I died on the inside as well. Very respected with all the fans. I understand. Well, listen, hopefully.
We're all mourning together.
I know. And that's the thing, too. We all, obnoxiously so, we all make the Edelman injury about ourselves. That's why I said I don't give a flying flip about what it does to your fantasy team. But we have to put a moratorium on it. We can all lament this for maybe another day. We've gone through it here in the show. I made a Fitzy video about it yesterday.
This is Belichick right here. You're look here.
But that's it.
Just say it.
By the time it is what it is. He even said in the thing, Belichick sounded heartbroken in all of his complete lack of emotion, monotone. You can see Brady looks like Brady just watched 3 dogs die in a car crash when he looked awful. Oh, it was miserable. It's like Brady had just been shown the end of Marley and Me, and then was asked to talk about losing Edelman. That's his boy.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert. The dog, like everything, guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you for me.
great. Thanks a lot. I know. But look, I think at this point now, we go through it, we grieve together, and then by Tuesday, Wednesday this week, before they kick off Thursday, in this ultra super meaningless Patriots Giants finale, that's it.
Yeah.
No
he's
more.
Dead to us unless he comes on Pat's show, and then he's not dead to us.
Isn't that?
No, he's not dead to us. He can't.
Isn't that nuts though that we have to take that approach, and the team is going to have to do that too, which is why I said earlier, I wonder if they're going to allow Edelman to be on the sidelines, or if he's going to want to even be there. Would he be a distraction? I think because he knows so much and he has Tom's mind there, he can be a real asset as a little extra coach or help out the receivers.
It's a good question.
I think
in 08, I think they didn't want Brady around because they felt like he'd be a distraction, even though you would think, wow, that would be really helpful for Matt Castle. I mean, I'm sure
how would Matt Castle not benefit from Tom Brady on the field?
I'm sure there was things going on behind the scenes that we didn't see. I think it's a question of, I feel like Jules is probably going to get super focused on surgery and rehab, and, he's kind of maybe be off on his own, doing his own thing. But it happened in week 3 of the preseason. They have time to prepare.
Yep.
They'll figure it out. They'll be okay. This isn't like, oh, shit, it's week 14. How are we going to get through the playoffs without Edelman?
And you got to figure, too, maybe if...
Carmi?
Hey, good question from my buddy Jason Cohen up in Hampshire in the 603. Can they get Hunter Renfrow from Clemson a year early? That was the kid who caught the 1-yard touchdown, I think, to win the national championship, too.
Yeah.
He looked. That's right. We all immediately. I remember the explosion on social media, Hunter Renfrow catches that 1-yard touchdown on that little rub route from Deshaun Watson to beat Alabama. And immediately social media is like, Hunter Renfrow goes from bad boy at Piggly Wiggly to New England Patriot with 1-yard touchdown. It's a great call, actually. Thanks, Ian.
Yeah.
So look at it this way. For Edelman, if Brandon Cooks picks up 10%, it's just going to have to be a little
game plan
offense and a little Franken move by them. 10% from Cooks, 15% from Hogan, 10% from Amendola. And I don't think you want to trot out Dola too much.
No.
He's only
third downs.
27 catches last year.
Dwight Allen, throw
Yeah.
some 2 tight end sets in there. The 2 running backs is really what fascinates me, because just from a defensive standpoint, how do you cover that? Because you have 2 guys who are really good. Are you going to pull linebackers off the field and put safety? You know, what do you do? Especially you got 2 of those guys. One is a problem enough to cover, but if you have both, I mean, I think that really, those guys can go out, they can split out wide. There's plenty of creativity and things they can do to make up. You know, it's going to be that third and gotta have it in the playoffs when it's 3rd and 17 and it looks like the game's over.
Right.
Who's going to have that flying through the air impossible catch where he gets drilled and hangs onto it?
I mean, the Super Bowl catch
Those
alone.
are the things.
Jeez.
I know. Sorry.
No, but the thing is, that's why I was saying, like, let's just get through it this week and just be past it.
All right.
We have to all not think, oh, it's 3rd and 5. Let's all not tweet at each other. Let's not at each other, up each other's butts about, like, would have been a great time for Edelman. Like, if only Edelman were there. Like, ifs, buts, candies, and nuts, we all have a Merry friggin' Christmas. Well, guess what? He's not there. Not walking through that door. So we got to just move our way past it together. There's no real healing from it. This is just
I know.
It's a thing.
We'll be
all right?
okay. We'll be
and
okay.
the Pats are still stacked, racked, cocked, locked. This is going to be an awesome season, but this sucks, obviously. Is there anything worth mentioning in the Patriots-Giants game?
You know, it's going to probably be a lot of scrubs. You got 90 guys on the roster still. You saw they released Langle and they released defensive end Caleb Kidder yesterday. So you're going to see some guys play. I mean, I'm thinking Dietrich Weiss is going to get in there, and Geno Grissom maybe. Those guys who are probably going to play significant roles.
We got to see those guys try to make a move because Coney Ely got released.
Yeah.
So that extra defensive end spot is wide open. I've seen some people on Twitter and on some local shows talking about, like Matt Chatham, for example, who does a great breakdown of all things Pats, talking about how the Patriots might shift the defense around so much this year, you may see Hightower move over sometimes to play that spot.
Yeah, well,
the defensive alignments may not just be traditional defensive end, D tackles, linebackers.
This is a trigger issue for me. I get very bothered by these things. Well, it's so hard to look at what they're doing in the preseason and try to extrapolate scheme changes and formation changes. I think they're not showing you anything. They're playing a lot of like basically 3-3 nickel, where it's almost like they're playing that because that's what their depth dictates.
Right.
They have to play with how their depth currently is. So I wouldn't read too much into any of that stuff just yet. It's always possible that they'll have a new wrinkle based on their personnel, but I still think that you're going to generally see Hightower. See, this is another thing, not to get off topic, but people are like, Hightower might play outside linebacker this year. It's like he's playing on the edge. He's playing the edge every year.
He's played everywhere every year.
That's really usually where they want him. When he's had to play in the middles, when he's been out of position.
Did you miss last year in the Super Bowl? Devonta Freeman
right. Well, that's
around
rushing in the sub packages. They're going to use him as a pass rusher, of course. But on early downs, if they're in a base personnel, they're going to have him at outside linebacker. They might move him off the ball. But that's the whole thing we talked about with they have mix and match guys. You don't know who's coming or who's going. That's the advantage of their defense.
Right.
So don't get too wrapped up in who's where and is he outside linebacker, is he defensive? It's just like just kind of let it happen and you'll.
Two forced jokey thoughts. One, Patriots defensive alignment and what you see on the field in preseason, that is like Brigham's in the 1950s. It is all vanilla. That's all there is. That's just you're getting nothing but vanilla.
Across the board,
like an ice cream parlor in the 50s. And number two, how come no local restaurant, understanding our love of the Patriots and breaking all things down like we do on Pat's show, how come nobody has a party platter called the sub package? I mean, it's right there. It was right there. Guarantee you. You're welcome, D'Angelo. You're welcome. Yeah, right?
Someone over, right? We could eat them on air and everything.
Oh my God! Hi, any local sandwich shop or restaurant, any of the favorite one the 99, always a great meal. We love a sponsor here on the show. I got the gold fever, Coach. I can't help it. We'll drink those giant 25-ounce beers here in the show. The sub package, that's great. We'll love to do a breakdown of the defense every week, have a sandwich sponsor. Bring it. Mike and I, by the way, we'll wear NASCAR suits if we need to. Just covered in your logos. Listen, girl gotta eat, okay? My bad habit of drinking IPAs during the game and Mike being able to keep up with all this amazing technology on Pat Show doesn't pay for itself, all right? So chip in, at Pat Show 6. Get it on like Donkey Kong, bang a gong. That's about all I wanted to talk about with the Giants game.
Well, let's look at the 53-man production.
Okay.
I'm sure this is going to, it means nothing.
You did a great breakdown on PatsPropaganda.com.
Yeah, it's the same one. And look, I mean, when I look at this team right now, I see 48 guys that I kind of see as locks, and then I kind of see 5 positions that could kind of go either way.
Yep.
And I'll point out some of the guys that I see going either way. Bolden, I kind of have him on, but he's a special teamer. People are like, they're never going to keep 6 running backs. He's not really a running back. I mean, he's going to play. I mean, he had like 1 carry last year. He's a special teamer. receivers, it's going to stick what it is. Slater, again, special teamer.
That's
Allen,
where he has to count. It's not that he's a wide receiver. I mean, every time
it's
Brady
just
throws
you
deep
throw
to
him there.
Matthew
I mean,
Slater.
really, we should just throw an ST and just put, like guys like Bolden and Slater on there. I'm just keeping 2 tight ends. I don't see with O'Shaughnessy and the twin there. What's his name?
Hollister.
Hollister.
Dude, how can you not have? First of all, O'Shaughnessy has like the most locally preferred name of all time.
This is true.
The most Shaughnessy wasn't Irish enough.
Yeah.
They had to double down on the Irishness and name him O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaughnessy.
Number one, and 2, Hollister. I mean, it's like isn't that a town somewhere between Natick and Peabody?
That's Holliston. That's where I grew up. Holliston, Massachusetts.
Right, sorry. Close enough.
Panthers, Holliston
Just, and that was the
Panthers.
joke about back in 2013, Sudfeld, too.
Yeah,
like
exactly,
Sudfeld, isn't that just outside 495?
Yeah.
Oh, Sudfeld, that's right near Hollister.
Yeah, and then going down to the offensive line. I mean, I got way too many guys there. These guys aren't going to make it. I mean, Garcia, we haven't seen any of, and I think that's one of the biggest disappointments.
Wasn't he a 4th-round
of the
draft pick,
preseason.
though?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that going in, we were thinking he might be the left tackle. They're going to let Solder go and hand it to Garcia next year. And I mean, he looked really small in camp. So I think, and he's been hurt the whole time. He's got no experience. So he could be a candidate to just throw him on IR, let him have a redshirt year. And in that case, I think Waddle's probably gone too. So you have some flexibility there. I think Fleming's probably a lock for the 3rd tackle spot.
Do you think this is a spot where, so Andrews, so who walk me through real quick. Who's the redundancy?
I think the 2 spots are Waddle and Garcia. Those could easily be. They could easily
So
be.
Ted
I mean, they're not going to cut Garcia, but I think Harris is a
fills
lot.
in for Mason if Mason goes down.
He's a swing guy.
He's a swing guy for either Tooney or Mason.
Or Andrews even, really.
Or
He could
Andrews
play
even,
center.
okay.
And then
So you're going to need another guard.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can.
Because Trey Jackson
manage.
had to retire, right?
Yeah, I think they would be okay with that. And then you also, you can always throw Marcus Cannon at guard. Remember those days? But, they have some options. I don't think they're going to carry, more than 7 or 8 tackles.
So don't be surprised maybe if a couple of these guys
Garcia
don't
IR,
make it.
Waddle cut.
I can see that and that. So this might be someplace they could go fishing on cut down
Sure,
day.
and I also think you got Bolden's spot to go fishing. And if we want to really talk about it, Jacoby Brissett is a spot that, do you really need you? I don't know. That's debatable. I have him on there, and I think he's pretty much a lock, but there's part of me that says,
What is he going to give you that if you, God forbid, I can't,
You're
and then
grooming
even
him.
no, please don't.
Yeah,
if you get down there,
you're grooming him.
what is he going to give you?
Yeah, you got to groom him for Garoppolo leaving next year. That's the reason
That's why?
we keep him. But, I don't know.
Okay, so that's what you see on the offense for the 53.
Flip over to the D.
To the D.
And I'm sorry about Austin Carr not being on there to the Carmi. Don't
can't.
come at me. Don't come at me.
I couldn't disagree more with that. I think you run the
We'll
risk
fight.
of
We're
a
gonna fight,
spike grab. I don't want to see. If Austin Carr goes to Pittsburgh and comes, or Baltimore,
and he's
and
the
comes
next
in and
time
scores a touchdown in Foxborough,
yeah.
I will be beyond insufferable.
And he'll be the first person to ever accomplish that whole get cut by the Patriots and come back to actually be good.
That's probably true. Probably true.
At the top, I think those guys, that's your foursome. It's Flowers and Wise, probably right out of the gate. Adam Butler, I've got as a defensive end, but he's going to move around.
You nervous with 2 rookies?
A little bit. But you look at 2014, what they did with Chandler Jones and Ninkovich, they rode him the whole year. Not ideal. I was petrified of it the whole time it was happening that season, because if one of those guys went down, they were screwed, but luckily they never did. So, they have enough that I think they can figure it out. You could also play Guy at a little defensive end if you wanted to. So there's some definite flexibility in there. But, I mean, you look at these front 4 group, you got to like it. You might want one more guy. You might want that Derek Rivers guy in there. But otherwise, you've got some really promising guys. I think a big question is Geno Grissom, and can he really take that leap in his 3rd year to playing defense after being a special teamer / interior rusher guy?
Is Geno Grissom the new Jake Bickett, where it's like, come on, I'm waiting for you to flash, third round.
Well, if they move him to tight end
go.
like they did with Bickett, then we know it's not. But
Lord. This I see being the strength, like the depth and strength of the defense that's going to allow for the flexibility of defensive end, because you can go put Hightower anywhere you need to.
Sure,
because McClellan's all over. Even Van Noy a little bit. He's got some good size.
He does, and he's going to be. I think he's going to be their
rusher.
coverage linebacker. I think the way they're going to work it is it's going to be McClellan and Hightower on the early downs, and then they'll pull McClellan and put Van Noy out there as kind of the coverage linebacker, occasional blitzer, and has some flexibility. But one thing I think has been interesting is David Harris played like the whole game
and looked good.
Yeah, some people might argue that. I know Greg Bedard, who writes on Boston Sports Journal, which I like. He's got Harris on the bubble a little bit, which
He
I
does.
found interesting. I mean, this is an interesting take. I respect his opinion.
I think you need that veteran.
Why would you play David Harris
It's some green dot.
into the third grade? That's why. Yeah, you could say that. And Roberts was injured, so you don't have somebody back him
You
up.
think he's in pot roast
I don't know.
territory
I don't
when
know.
they're playing him?
I thought it was interesting what he said. I've got him on. I'm not saying he's going to get cut, but I think that's an interesting debate to have. And like I said, there's always one like random cut where you're like, didn't see that one coming.
Deion Branch, how can they play another game like your Branch guy? Like that's impossible.
Yeah. And then we're heavy here too at cornerback. I mean, I kept Coleman. He's probably a swing guy, but I just like him, and he didn't have a great game. But
looked great, has looked great,
Yeah.
better than I thought. People love this
special
kid.
teamer. Yeah, he's
Don't.
gonna be your punt returner now.
Don't.
He's gonna be your guy.
Oh, that's right.
He's caught every
Now
punt
he's
this
even
preseason.
more important because you can't send it.
You got to protect Amendola.
Oh,
So yeah,
Edelman.
get ready for some Chandler.
Thanks a lot, Edelman.
Cyrus
Thanks a lot,
Jones.
Ford Field. Now I gotta. I was just thinking like, okay, if Butler and Gilmore just lock it down and Rowe provides cornerback insurance.
Yeah, you're set.
No, we're fine and set there. But what am I going to piss and moan about this year? And it's like, that's right. As a member of the Legion of the Insufferable in Patriots Nation, now I have a season full of Cyrus Jones to freak out about catching punts.
Eric Rowe will give you some of those moments too. I think
Yeah.
they'll throw him in the
coverage-
slot on a
His
shifty
coverage
back.
on Julio
He's been
Jones
great.
is incredible catch in Super Bowl 51.
He's been
was
great, but if
pretty
they got to
excellent.
throw him in the slot, he's got to cover an Edelman-esque shifty guy.
Right.
It could get interesting. But and lastly, the only real surprise was just cutting Jordan Richards. I mean, they played him at linebacker against the Lions, which was just like, what's he doing down there? He's totally out of position. So I mean, you saw him lost in space early. Is he going to be that Chung guy that can play in the box? I don't think so. So I don't know. I cut him. I mean, he could have. I'm sure there's an argument to be made for keeping him on special teams, but
I think we got enough of those particularly
you got enough.
strong special teams guys.
So that's it. It's going to be all wrong, and they're going to probably acquire 3 guys from other teams that get jettisoned that no one saw coming. So you can still be mad at me and yell at me about not keeping Austin Carr or Jacob Hollister, but I think that's generally where my head's at.
Team Carr, right here. Carnivore. Carnivorous.
Carnivore. You're a general in the
Courage. Dude, he's got a perfect name. I can already, how many conversations do you think are taking place at local drink your breakfast aterias, all over Boston where people are like, oh, what do they got to worry about? They got that car kid. He's going to be wicked good. Gulp, tall boy, Newport.
Yeah.
Scratch ticket, Keno, gulp, gulp.
It's amazing. Carr really, the Boston accent and Carr really go together.
Weird, right?
Well, yeah. That's that word. It always.
I wonder if the Patriots are going to park Carr on their 53-man roster. Excuse me. Boom! All right.
Well,
that's kind of
preseason for us. This is the end of preseason for us here at Pat Show too.
Yeah, we've done our 3. So as we hope the NFL moves to, we have a 3-episode preseason here in the show, and we've given you a little taste of everything that we have to come in the season, and so much more to look forward to. Our first official episode, our big preview of the NFL kickoff game, Chiefs at Pats, which actually lost a little luster because you lose Edelman and now Spencer Ware, the lead running back, the second biggest offensive threat behind Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs, is now out this season with an MCL and PCL. God, so many CLs. So way too many CLs for me to have to keep track of. But that's another argument for why.
CLs.
That's whoa. All right, the door is right there. I have blazed a trail to it. I have set a precedent for terrible humor and puntasticness on this show,
You're
sir.
dragging me down. You're dragging me down.
You can stay. You are very welcome. You are very welcome down here. You have spelunked down to the bottom with me, and I, for one, welcome it, sir. Thank you very much. So that's another argument for why our preseason shouldn't go any longer, and why the NFL should probably switch to what is likely going to be a 3-game preseason as well. We'll be back Wednesday, September 6th, live with the first official episode of Pat Show, previewing Chiefs at Patriots for the kickoff game. Of course, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please, if you watch it on Facebook or wherever we might happen to post this, give us your comments. We would love your feedback. If you have questions heading into the next episode, hit us up, like I said, at Pat Show 6, at Pat's Propaganda, and at FitzyGFY. Mike, any final thoughts as we wrap up our preseason?
No, it's very exciting. I'm gonna be at the Giants game on Thursday night in the parking lot doing some video shoot for Pat's show. So if you are gonna be tailgating there, you want to come talk to me, give me your preview of the season. We're just gonna be looking for people to talk to about Edelman, everything like that. So hit me up on Pat's Propaganda. I'll just be walking around, probably post up maybe somewhere near the pro shop in there, and would love to talk to some of you guys and get your input on the season. And it's going to be awesome.
All fanalysis is welcome here. And don't forget, you can't spell analysis without anal.
And on that note,
which I don't know why. Well, yeah, exactly. It hurts. Just like, all right, heal up, Jules. Hang in there, Pat's peeps. It's going to be an awesome season. And just to wipe that disgusting taste of the Edelman injury out of your mouth and get you laughing on the way out the door, here's this week's piece of found football footage, our little moment of zen, if you will. This comes from NFL Memes. This is, quote, this was referred to on Twitter as a live look-in on the Jacksonville quarterback competition. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, everyone. And go Pats. Really might be the most accurate thing I've ever seen. Garbage barrels in a rainstorm.
It's a race to the finish.
Bortles in the lead. Henny's on his tail.
To the stop sign first.
I got Henny.
It's a race to the finish. Yes.
Oh, and that was the Titans passing. That was the Titans passing the Jags for first place in the AFC South because Jacksonville is going the wrong direction. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. Take care. Go Pats.
go Pats.
Go Pats! Woo!